bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
And we're back live from Big 12 Media Days in Frisco. Alongside Jamie Lent, I'm Choice Woodman. Thank you for joining us on this Tuesday afternoon. I'll continue to bring in thoughts, comments, questions, all of those on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Someone said Joey could get him on. I believe that. Yeah.
No question.
He and Joey have a good, Coach McGuire have a good relationship there. That's what's kind of funny. Not funny, not like a clown, like I make you laugh, but funny in general, ironic, I guess, is Joey McGuire, as you know, anybody that's met him, is one of the most likable and exuberant guys that you'll ever meet. He's an extremely likable character in general. So it is kind of ironic or funny to see the entire Big 12 turn on him. And I say entire. There's some that have been vocal. Who's the K-State AD?
Yeah, I told Rob before that it felt like it was more ADs
Yes.
than it was coaches.
I'd agree with that.
It felt like the only coach that was vocal was Sonny Dykes.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Am I misremembering there? Were there comments by other coaches that I'm forgetting?
I don't think so. I don't know if there's more, but not that I remember. But it is kind of ironic because people seem to love him. Mm-hmm. And it's not just us in Lubbock, though we love Joey McGuire in Lubbock. It seems like everywhere he goes, everywhere. Until lately, and that's probably something different for him. I'm sure that's kind of hard for him because he's a guy that's liked just about everywhere he goes. So to have this kind of turn from the conference, to have so many opposed, it's got to be a little bit different for him. But I don't know how that affects him. Maybe not at all. Maybe he just uses a motivation, like y'all talked about earlier, with the team to motivate and.
All I know is watching Coach McGuire today, he's bouncing around here. Extremely jovial. He is being engaging. He's been on, again, we've said this before, I think Coach McGuire does more interviews with more of our types from different cities across the Big 12 than any other head coach. Other head coach. I wouldn't even guess it's even close.
Yeah, I think you're right.
He's willing to do it. He loves talking about his team.
Sure.
And he's a guy that's, people want to talk to because he's, a fun guy and all that good stuff. So I feel like that because of that, ultimately this isn't going to – I think people will get over the whole
I think so.
Sorsby situation and not put this on Joey McGuire's legacy or anything like that. I don't see any of that happening at all.
I think you're right. Now, if Sorsby would have played, then it turns into something else, I'm sure. Who knows if you're talking about legacy or anything like that.
If Sorsby had played and Tech won a national championship, there's a little bit of me being fearful that would have felt like the situation with the asterisk next to the World Series championship for the Astros.
Yeah. How are y'all doing? Yeah. Great. This is Ben Roberts about to join us as we're taking some Red Raiders here today at Big 12 Media Days. Ben, thanks for giving us a bit of your time. How are
no
you?
Problem. I'm fantastic. I'm happy to be here.
First trip to Big 12 Media Days.
Oh, yeah.
You enjoying it?
Oh, yeah, so far. I hope it keeps going this way.
You glad to get out of your pads?
Oh, yeah. We were walking around in them for a while. I was wearing them longer than I would for a game.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're getting a lot preseason love, recognition. I know you're more about the team and that sort of thing, but how's it feel to see your name in a lot of headlines?
It's really cool. I mean, everybody dreams of being like a big name player as a kid, and finally getting some of that recognition after being here for a while. It's really cool. But like you said, I mean, it's not about me at the end of the day. It's about what we can accomplish as a team.
So many great players lost off of a fantastic defense a season ago, but to a man, it feels like every defensive player you talk to from Texas Tech feels like you guys have the chance to be better. Why is that?
Because we keep building on that standard that we built last year, building that brotherhood, being close, building that chemistry on the field. That was a lot of what happened last year. Was we understood that guys were going to do certain things and how to cover it up and how the back end would cover us up.
You know, it's kind of crazy. I've been a Tech fan my whole life. I know my whole life it's been all about offense in Lubbock. That's how it is. It's kind of crazy that you guys changed that basically in one season, where it is all about the defense, and the defense is what gets recognized. And it was part of that group last year, but there's a pretty good core returning for this group.
Yeah, it's a good group of guys, and the guys that we brought in are unreal.
Sure.
But they say defense wins championships. So
you believe that?
Yeah.
How do you had such a great leader last year in Jacob Rodriguez that I think everybody really respected. You playing alongside of him, being a leader as well, surely you learned a lot from him. How do you continue that great leadership?
Yeah, I learned a bunch from Jake. A lot of what I got from him is just being the same guy every day, leading by example, continuing to work on those little things, and bringing everybody along with you. We have a pretty mature team, so a lot of it is bringing those younger guys that are going to play and building that bond with those new transfers.
So you actually kind of got thrown into the fire your freshman season because Jacob got injured, and you played really well that freshman season. I know you didn't feel like you played as well your sophomore year, but last year, another great year. What did you learn throughout that process of kind of having to get thrown into the fire as a freshman and where you are now?
A lot of it is just always being ready. And like that freshman year, I was ready. I was prepared. But now that I've been a part of it and I know what to expect, it's what are those extra steps in my game that I can take?
Sure.
Like in film review, what are those extra little keys that I can get so that I can be one step faster to the play?
An off season that was just full of drama for you guys, but ultimately it's just about football. But with all the things that were said about Tech and about this program, do you guys have a bit of a chip on your shoulder heading into the season?
I think we've always had that little chip, but it helps. It definitely does. I kind of like being the villain, like what's been portrayed out there. A lot of people want to be Superman, but Superman's got to have a villain.
That's right.
So have you seen any? I don't know. Maybe time hasn't passed enough for this, but have you seen the team get closer through this to kind of bond together over the situations?
Yeah, 100%. We kind of got, I would say, it was a good thing when it happened. We were on a break, so not everybody was together. But when we came back, we came back full speed.
Sure.
There was no lag. Will stepped right up. I think Will told Coach at one point, like, hey, I don't care who you bring in. Like, I'm still fighting for this job.
Yeah.
So he's already ready. It's not like he's got to step up.
Right.
Do you feel like you guys learned a lot from what happened last year in the college football playoff?
I think so. I think our team has learned a lot. I think we've gotten the pieces to correct that game. And I think this year, honestly, all around, this team's a better football team. So
getting back to the college football playoff is obviously got to be one of your goals. What are the goals overall for your team this year?
The goals this year, a lot of it starts like with us. So just building that chemistry that we had last year, and then past that. And then it's just we set a standard of we're going to go to the Big 12 championship. We're going to win the Big 12 championship. Now it's let's take each step. Let's win each game after that. Let's go win a natty.
Hopefully we get to see it happen this year, Ben. We've enjoyed watching you, and we'll be rooting for you this year.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That's Ben Roberts. This is the bottom line here. Big 12 Media Days coverage in Frisco, presented by Cornet Equipment. We'll be back for more next.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Thanks so much for making us part of your Tuesday afternoon. Not a normal Tuesday in July, though. It is Big 12 Media Days Tuesday. Kicking things off here in Frisco. Day one action features 8 different teams. We'll have 8 more teams with our coverage tomorrow. Jamie Lent to my left. I'm Choice Woodman. We got Lucas White back at home base. Able to take care of us. The teams today, Arizona State, Baylor, BYU, UCF, Colorado, Houston, Oklahoma State, and Texas Tech.
Just me or Texas Tech always on the first day?
Yeah, I think you and I have done this 4 consecutive years together, and I think they have gone first day every time. I think. I'm not certain on that. It is interesting because Joey McGuire speaks at the podium last. And it does kind of feel like you're saving the fireworks for last there. Not that there's going to be fireworks, but he's the people that want it. People want to hear from the most. The person that people want to hear from the most, right?
If that was done unintentionally, I think it's hilarious.
You don't think it is? Because it's not going in alphabetical order.
Making people stick around longer.
I think that's what it is, honestly. I really think that they placed it that way. Kalani Sitake's up before him, and Kenny Dillingham is before him. Arguably the 3 best or most important coaches in this league right now.
Up there.
Do you know Sitake has the 3rd most wins in college football since 2020 of any head coach?
I did not know that.
He's there, I think, only behind Kirby Smart, and I've forgotten the other one. So I should not use my brain. I should use my notes. Those are the 3. It does feel like, if you look at the order, you got Eric Morris, who's the new guy. This is today. Willie Fritz, okay, Scott Frost, Dave Aranda, and then the 4 most interesting, they are kind of towards the back end. Deion Sanders, Kenny Dillingham, Kalani Sitake, and Joey McGuire. I'm not saying most interesting in what they say necessarily, but intrigue surrounding those.
There is definitely a lot less excitement going to be surrounding the coaches tomorrow.
Why did they split it this way? It feels like you should have taken 2 of those last 4 coaches and flipped them to the second day. Just my opinion, but I mean, Rich Rodriguez is closing it down tomorrow as far as the podium remarks.
That'll get the media fired up.
Woo! You're not a Rich Rod guy, are you?
Oh, I think he's fine.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I'm not high on his coaching ability right now.
Sure.
He's not done anything in the recent past that's been really great.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's.
Had a good run at Arizona. Had a really good run at West Virginia years and years ago.
Sure. I would love to have Rich Rodriguez on tomorrow and ask him how close he got to being in Lubbock, Texas.
Yeah.
Like, to hear it from his mouth. Because we've always heard the rumors.
Yeah,
that
feels
his
like
wife,
it was really close.
Yeah, that his wife, or that he was here or something, and he was in Lubbock and didn't end up working out with the wife there. Someone says, if y'all got to interview Arizona State's head coach, what would y'all ask him? That's a good question.
See, I think he's another one that I feel like is honest with his answers.
I think so.
So he might give you a good answer on some stuff.
Probably too honest at times for.
Yeah.
Wasn't he? What did he say? Well, when he was begging for money, I'm asking Rob here. When he was begging for money, what did Kenny Dillingham say this offseason? He was basically saying we need our donors to do what Cody Campbell has done. Not in those exact words, but
yeah.
I mean, it was.
Don't know.
And this was also while we didn't know for sure if he was going to stay there or end up at LSU or.
Yeah, really interesting, right? Because, I mean, his quarterback also, it seems like those two were, a bit of a package, and him leaving for LSU and hitting the portal and heading out was interesting as well. I think I would like to ask him just the state of college athletics. Is this something you're enjoying, the new way things have gone? Because he's a new age coach.
He's new.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's really only known it this way.
He's one of the younger ones for sure. Yeah, I don't know what I'd ask Kenny Dillingham. It is, when you're just looking at the coaches around this league, obviously you have new ones. One new one that's here today, and Eric Morris. But Kenny Dillingham and Kalani Sitake. Dillingham's at the mic right now, and Sitake's up next. These are two guys that there was real question if they would be back this year, because Dillingham was flirting with LSU, and Sitake, it almost sounded like it was a done deal that he was going to be at Penn State.
Yeah, I would tell you, I think there are different portions of the summer where I didn't think either one of them would be back.
Yeah. I mean, because it just seems like that financial support is paramount when it comes to college athletics. And if those two guys didn't feel like they were getting that to the level that they needed to win a championship, then it felt like moving on. And then you get a guy like Joey McGuire, who's sitting here talking about how much he loves Lubbock. He said on record, the reason you don't see his name, you can believe it if you want or not, because I know there's skeptics on it. The reason you don't see his name involved with some of these coaching searches is because he's told his agent, don't put my name out there. I'm staying where I'm at. Well, I want raises for my assistant coaches. I want those sorts
Well, it's
of
not
things.
good for recruiting either. If you're
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
If you're rumored to be going other places.
Yeah. If y'all interviewed Coach Prime, would you ask him a lot of Dallas Cowboys questions? There'd be one or two in there for me. I don't know. I remember.
Well, I can't think of one single thing I would want to ask Deion Sanders.
Not anything? Why?
Maybe how much longer do you think you'll be coaching?
You could do the Michael Scott question. Why are you the way that you are? You could start with that.
Yeah.
I'm not joking on this when I say this. We couldn't get a Deion Sanders interview because we don't call him Coach Prime. I'm not joking on that. He basically requires people to call him Coach Prime. He tells media members they have to call him that. And I'm sorry if I'm not going to kiss the ring on that. Like, it just – and that's part of, where it rubs me the wrong way. It's just – come on, man.
I might want to ask him how difficult it was when he was playing both professional football and professional baseball at the same time.
I would have much more fun
feel like
asking him about that stuff.
Lifetime ago for Deion Sanders. But, man, he was fun to watch as a baseball player, too.
That was Braves and Falcons in the same day, right? When he did it in the same
I believe so, yeah.
Same day. Did you like him as a Yankee?
He was flashy, but he wasn't that big of a deal at the time. It was different. He wasn't a superstar in the NFL, really, at the same time. So, I don't know. I think I've told you the story before about going to having tickets the old Arlington Stadium when Nolan pitched for 300 the first time, attempted to win his 300th game, and Deion led off the game for the Yankees with a triple down the right field line.
Oh, yeah.
And how stoked I was. And my dad was like, sit down, you're going to get us killed.
You're going to get us killed. That's funny.
And Nolan didn't get the 300th win, and the Yankees blew the lead. And so it was a bad night all around.
All the way around, yes.
Yeah.
This text, Hammond, this is put in quotes, okay. Hammond was the starter. We just wanted to bring in a veteran into the locker room, end quote, Joey McGuire. Hashtag biggest load of BS I've heard. Did he say those words? Because I don't believe those were.
Yeah, I don't think that was the direct quote, but he did. I mean, whatever it was, it insinuated that they wouldn't have that they would have gone after a veteran QB, not per se a starter, if Will had been healthy the whole year.
Well, the way this texter's wording it is that they brought in Sorsby as a backup. That's not what he said there.
Oh, okay. Well,
that's how I'm reading the text.
I didn't read it that way. I mean, I am one that questions the whole whether or not Will would have been whether they would have brought somebody else in or not. Well, I'm not certain about that. My guess is they would have somebody to be the starter. Maybe it wouldn't have been the top guy in the portal, but it would be somebody that they thought could be the starter.
Here's what we don't know, Jamie, is you would have seen Will Hammond in more action later that year, right? Had he never got hurt.
Yes.
Hey, so if he's tearing it up against West Virginia at the end of the season, if you would have seen him in more action, so that would have factored into your decision probably.
The funny part is if we had just seen the Utah game and they didn't play the rest of the season, we would have said, no need for another quarterback.
Remember how many people were saying that Joey McGuire was dumb for not starting Will Hammond after the Utah game?
Yeah.
There's some of you on the chat line that were saying that. There was plenty. I mean, so
I also feel like at the Arizona State game, the game plan was not its best that day.
Yeah, it did feel like the reins were maybe pulled back a little bit. This is the bottom line portion of Big 12 Media Days on Double T 973.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back. 100.7 The Score is the Bottom Line. Here live from Big 12 Media Days. Rob Rowe and Brennan Riker along for the ride for the next hour. Then we'll have Choice Woodman back. Of course, we'll be live at Big 12 Media Days until 6 o'clock tonight. We've had some press conferences going on. We've heard from Eric Morris, Willie Fritz, Dave Aranda, Deion Sanders, Kenny Dillingham. I've got some interesting quotes from each of those guys. We'll also continue to talk to some Texas Tech football players as they are roaming around, and we'll see who else might stop by. You never know at Big 12 Media Days who might come by. I saw John Kurtz floating around. If we want some Big 12 perspective from him, here's Kenny Dillingham. Now, whose suit is better? The blazer from Joey McGuire, the full plaid suit from Kenny Dillingham?
I got to say, Joey, the look Kenny Dillingham is sporting is interesting, to say the least. It's not terrible. It's not the most egregious thing I've seen someone wear today at this function. But
is it too much plaid?
I think there is such thing as too much plaid. There was a guy, and I don't know who he is, but he is wearing like cardinal pants with a blue blazer, and I'm like, he looks like he's here to support SMU, and I'm really unsure why he got out of bed and decided to dress like that to Big 12 Media Days.
He was looking sharp, Brennan. I don't know what you're talking about. Here's another one.
Well, and look, I'll be very honest. I am not a fashion aficionado.
Oh, it's the knight. Choice is saying the golden knight is too golden and shiny.
You know, these mascots are very annoying. I don't know about you, but the commissioner's up on the stage, and then all of them are like laying on the ground doing snow angels in the turf while the commissioner's speaking, like a bunch of teenage girls, and I'm like,
they are teenage girls.
Well, you know, it's just so much.
Who do you think's in those mascot costumes?
College age students.
It is teenage girls. What are you talking about?
Well, I guess we need all the mascots to be buttoned up, wearing suits, and
that's what you want.
Saying, we're going to play the games on our schedule. We're going to play the game the right way.
I think Shasta was trying to get a question in for Willie Fritz, but they never came to her. Isn't that her name, Shasta the Cougar?
I don't know.
I think it's Shasta.
I just call it the Cougar, the Frog, the Knight. There's only really one mascot here that matters.
Red. All right, so Eric Morris was on the podium earlier, and he said his never mind. We got Sheridan Wilson walking up. Offensive lineman, the center, the leader of the Texas Tech offensive line here live at Big 12 Media Days. Sheridan, if you can bring that mic close to your mouth when you put that on.
Okay.
Right up there in the mustache. There we go. The handlebar. So we got Sheridan Wilson on, of course, the leader of the offensive line. The expectation is that the offensive line is going to be even better than it was last year. You got some more beef up on the front.
Yep,
now
right.
I think it's 6'8", 6'6", 6'5", 6'7", 6'6", Jordan Church, and then whatever Jacob Hunt is, 6'7" again?
Yeah, sounds about right.
And the 300 pounds across the front, beef. I think it's mass kicks ass is what Joey McGuire says. How excited are you to lead that unit?
Oh, man, I mean, I'm super excited. As y'all might know, we got 3 returning starters. We got 2 guys we brought in. One of them last year was hurt, but he's getting ready to come back, and he's been doing great. Hunter Zambrano. Then we got Jordan Church, transfer from Louisville. He's been doing a great job, too, and it's just going to be awesome. I think we got a lot of experience on the O-line. We got 3 dudes who have played together, and then also playing under Coach Mac Leftwich, too, so we kind of know what's going on now. And it's a lot easier, too, whenever you got 3 guys who have played together, and it's easy to bring the other 2 together, with that experience.
Especially on the ends. Now, you seem like a nice buttoned-up young man.
Thank you.
On the field, maybe a little nasty. Who's the nastiest offensive lineman in the group?
Definitely Howard Sampson.
Okay.
Howard Sampson for sure.
Okay, he gets maybe a little trash talk, a little aggressiveness.
Not just that, but you just got to see the way he plays. This dude's running downfield just trying to kill people. It's awesome.
I love it.
Last season was obviously a big step in the right direction for the team, but not only yourself. Where did you see your own game grow last year?
I would say just communication, really. Communication is a big part of about playing center. It's really just got to go out there, command the offensive line, make sure you call the right protection so the quarterback doesn't get hit, and call the right run to where, we can open up a wide hole for the running back.
Captain this year?
Yes, sir.
What does that mean to you, and what are you having to replace from Baron Morton and Jacob Rodriguez and some of the captains from last year?
I mean, obviously, it's a blessing. It's a privilege for sure. I'm very, very proud to be captain. It's just a blessing. But, really just trying to piggyback off, like, what they did last year. We had a good team. I'm really just trying to be, a great – not only a teammate, but, like, a great friend to everyone, too. I kind of noticed last year Baron was phenomenal at, just getting to know the guys and, having people over, hanging out. And I think that's just a big part about, having a good team and doing that,
I have a big bid online, the RTDB, run the dang ball.
Yep.
I love the attitude. Mac Leftwich seems like he is an offensive coordinator that certainly loves to pass the ball around, but is going to be running the ball. You have 3 great running backs, 2 coming back, 1 returning from injury. How excited are you to just go up and mash some people offensively and maybe play a little more ball control with Will Hammond getting back from injury and especially in these first 2 weeks if you have another quarterback?
No, yeah, I mean, it's phenomenal having those great backs, too. It makes our job a lot easier as well, When you have those guys that are just so athletic, it's really, really good because they're very fast. They're really, really good at finding the hole, and they can break tackles. And then having Will Hammond back there, someone who can run makes our job a little easier, too. It's really nice because, Will's came a long way, and I have full faith in him, and, I'm going to go out there and die for him.
Last year, offense boasted a lot of great numbers, one of the best in the country offensively. How does the offense take the next step forward this season?
Really just coming together and doing your 111. Coach speaks about it all the time, knowing and doing your job. All it takes is one person to mess up the play, So it's really just going out there and executing.
What's it like working with Mac Leftwich?
It's awesome. He's a mastermind. Coach Mack has just got great game plans going in each week. Again, like I said before, he's really, really smart. So each week we have full faith in him to call the right plays for us.
You've been at Texas Tech for several years now. The journey from, I would say, known team to nationally relevant. People can't keep their name out the mouth a little bit this offseason. You have the Sark drama, then the Sorsby drama. It seems like every day some Texas Tech headline in the national news. What is it like behind the scenes? Because obviously us as media members, we're talking about it every day. We see it from that perspective. But what's it like behind the scenes trying to I guess, block out the noise? Because there's been a whole lot of noise for you guys this offseason.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, again, we try to just block it out. We don't really pay attention to social media because no one really knows what goes on behind closed doors. We're really just focused on the family itself, If anything, that's brought this team even closer, what we've been going through. And having that target on your back is a privilege, too. I think it's really, really cool that we're the team that's circled on everyone's calendar this year. So,
if you could get a pod for Big 12 scheduling, and you get to play 3 Big 12 teams every year, who would you put in that pod that Texas Tech could play?
I would do BYU, Houston, and TCU.
You get Baylor again this year. That was the first year you hadn't played them in, I think, 80-something years. That's another team on there. But BYU, is that because they're another top dog? You just want to play the best?
Yeah. And I think the games we had versus each other were awesome. You know, it was a lot of people just going out there competing, a lot of trash talk going on, but it was fun.
Who's the best defensive line you played last year in the Big 12?
I would say Kansas State was very, very well coached. And that was a big shocker, too, seeing them, because I thought their defense was so great. You know, their record, it just didn't show.
Yeah. Arizona State obviously had a pretty good defensive line last year. And then Houston maybe next year would be a team you're looking forward to playing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Sheridan, thanks for coming on with us.
Yes, sir.
This is Sheridan Wilson, all Big 12, preseason, potentially postseason. Some accolades from last year, accolades this year. Big 12 championship again?
Yes, sir. Going back to back.
You going to Vegas, maybe?
God willing.
All right. Thanks. That's Sheridan Wilson, Texas Tech Football Center. More from Media Days when we come back here live, presented by Cornet Equipment.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back on 100.7 The Score. Brought to you by Cornet Equipment here live at Big 12 Media Days. Of course, Choice Woodman back with us. I'm Rob Bro alongside Terrance Carter, TC. Got it iced out on the neck there. That is amazing. You think I could pull something off like that? RB?
You
think I could? Oh, not that one. Not that one. I think you should trust me with that one. I don't know if I can do that. But maybe like an RB here on my neck. That'd be nice.
Most definitely, bro. You got the swag for it, man.
All right, this is the highest-rated tight end on college football 27. It was alphabetical on the list, so that's the only reason he wasn't above the other guy. What do you expect from 2027, either in your own personal accolades or for the team here?
I'm going to go both. So, me personally, I'm going to just say, like, off the bat, I want to win the John Mackey Award. Okay. I got caught, you know what I'm saying? I was slipping last year. I could have done way more. You know, I had a couple of nicks and bruises and stuff injury-wise, so I feel like that just set me back. And then team-wise, like, bro, I just think everybody should know, like, we're chasing the natty here. Like, we're not just aiming to go to the playoffs. We're not just aiming for the Big 12 championship. Like, we set the standard last year, and this year we're trying to pass that.
So obviously that was where you wanted to be. You get to the college football playoff. You come up a little bit short. Did that make you even more hungry?
Most definitely, especially like after the stunt we done pulled as an offense. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like it was BS, excuse my language, especially what we did, especially for y'all, because, I mean, y'all knew what we could have done, and that just wasn't the standard for us. Like, scoring 0 points, like, it still hurts me to this day, just bringing it up, you know what I'm saying? But, nah, like, we know what we got to do, and it's always what's next for us. But, yeah, that's most definitely we got to get right.
Feeling healthy?
Most definitely, 100%. Yeah, I feel great. I've been working on my body the whole, you know what I'm saying, off season so far. You know, I feel the best I've felt coming into college, honestly.
So you have the Brennan Sorsby drama over the offseason. Obviously, you guys are trying to keep that in-house and what you're trying to do behind the scenes. But it did feel like you and Brennan Sorsby maybe had a connection early on.
Yeah.
How do you feel with that whole situation and moving back to Will Hammond as the starter? What are your thoughts with the quarterback situation?
I mean, honestly, so, like, let's just start off like last year. So, if we're being honest, if Will Hammond never got hurt, like everyone always says, for one, that's our QB1 right there for sure. And everybody knew that. Like, we had no doubt that we were going to go get a QB to try to compete with Will. Like, we knew who our guy was, and, like, he just happened to get hurt. So, like, of course, we had to go get somebody. Mm-hmm. And Sorsby just happened to be who it was. And, I mean, of course, like, he had the addiction going on. Like, no, but none of us knew about it. Because, like, the guy he was that came into the locker room every day was, like, you wouldn't have thought anything like that was going on. Like, he always had a smile on his face, was always, like, messing around with other people. Like, just being the same guy, just being a leader. And once the news broke, I mean, yeah, I was heartbroken. But, you know, of course, it's like a what's next. And in my mind, I was just like, bro, yeah, I'm hurt, but – bro, we still got Will Hammond, bro. Like, we gonna be good. And I seen a lot of people, like, just going crazy about it, like, oh, like, what's going to happen with Texas Tech. They don't have little did y'all know, like, we still got that secret weapon in that backfield. So we're going to be pretty good with who we got.
You mentioned that it kind of broke your heart. I mean, that's because you already made a pretty good relationship with Brendan there. But it does seem like, talking to your teammates, it feels like maybe there was a rally cry where you guys maybe have even gotten closer on the other side of it?
Yeah, most definitely. Like I say, it brought the team in, like, way much. Like, bro, we just got to take care of each other. Like, we know everybody's out against us. And it's like everybody's been saying, it's Texas Tech versus everybody, and we truly believe that. Mm-hmm. So, like, we're all bought in. We got that rare bond. Like, we're all close, connected, and you know what I'm saying? Now it's just we have to go do our job and just keep everybody quiet now.
Year 2 as a Red Raider. A lot of success last year as a team, some personal success. You get to play some teams this year. You're missing some of the top-end guys. Who on the schedule do you have maybe circled that you want to go out and prove yourself against?
I actually have a few teams circled. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to start off with that week 3 game. You know what I'm saying? I got a bunch of people that I went to school with, you know what I'm saying, college, high school, middle school. You know what I'm saying? So that's just like a little I'll say like a little just friendship rivalry for me, because this is like all my partners go over there and stuff like that. I'm going to circle Baylor. A lot of people don't know this, but Baylor was my dream school. I was a huge RG3 fan growing up. You know what I'm saying? I wore number 10 in high school.
You're from Killeen, right?
Yeah, most definitely. So I was trying to be a hometown hero, but they didn't offer me, so I was like, you know what? I get to play all this year, so it's a bet. You know what I'm saying? So now I get to show them what you missed out on. And then Arizona State. I'm not going to say too much, but yeah.
Yeah.
So the last 2 years, the winner of that game missed the Big 12 championship. Mm-hmm. So then so if it goes for a third year here, you might want to lose that one, and then that's how it works.
No,
just win them all. Just win them all, and then you go to the Big 12 championship.
Yeah, we're gonna win them. We coming for all of them. So I hope they all prepared.
So you are here under year 2 under Joey McGuire. Mm-hmm. What is the best thing about playing for Coach McGuire?
Man, he's the same guy every day, and the love he has for all of us is like really insane, because you don't see most head coaches like that.
Sure.
Especially, like, I'm not down talking my old head coach, but like they're two different people.
Right.
Like, McGuire always had a smile on his face. Like, the energy's always there. You know what I'm saying? To where some head coaches are more serious. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But Joey can flip that switch on you, so don't take his kindness for weakness. But nah, that's my guy. I love him to death, and I'm glad to be part of something like this.
We've had some highlights from you, obviously, on the football field, but you're also in a dunk contest there. I think that was last year.
Yeah.
If you were going to play another sport, maybe we don't have a full roster over here on the basketball team. If you were going to go after the Big 12 football season and put some minutes in a Big 12 basketball role at Texas Tech, what would your stat line be?
I ain't gonna fake it, cause I was a real life hooper. So I'm finna do this real. I'm not gonna say 10 and 10, but I'll say I'd at least average 12. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I average at least 6 boards, at least 3 assists. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna play some defense too. You know, so if y'all need some play, holla at me, dog.
Giving a call to Coach McCaslin after the football season.
I'm telling you, hey, look, all you gotta do is go look up Dry Nation.
Break.
But for real, you're gonna be preparing for the NFL draft. I mean, what is it a goal for you to get drafted in the first round?
100%. Like, that was a big reason I came back, honestly. Yeah. Like, I've been here, you know what I'm saying, late second, early third, you know what I'm saying, even 4th round, 5th. But me personally, I was just like, bro, I want to be the first tight end off the board, and I know I can do that. So why not come back one more year, you know what I'm saying, get better, and the little things that I know I needed to get better in, like the run game. And, you know, I just see everybody just talking about it, like I need to get better at it. So that's just what I'm working on.
Is it possible for a tight end to be the leading receiver at Texas Tech?
100%. I'm finna show you.
Okay.
Terrance Carter, best in the nation. He'll be back with the Red Raiders this year. We'll be back on the other side of this with Joey McGuire live at his press conference. Well, not live, but re-aired at his press conference. We're live at Media Days. Cornet sponsoring us today. More after this.
Getting to the point. but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back, 100.7 The Score. It is the end of the bench. That was Terrance Carter. He was awesome. Terrance Carter was awesome. Who's you did Bryce Pollock. You talked to Bryce Pollock today?
Yes.
And Rich Clark.
Rich Clark
Rich Clark
is the
of the
two I visited
CFP.
with. Yeah.
And then we had Joey and Coy Aiken, Terrance Carter, Sheridan Wilson. And then we'll have A.J. Holmes at 3 o'clock.
And we had Ben Roberts as well.
And Ben Roberts. You had Ben Roberts. So pretty good list. I think Terrance Carter may be the best interview of the day with Joey.
He's good.
Joey and Terrance. Terrance had some good comments there.
Sure.
Very exciting. They're playing golf right in front of us. Choice is, I think, fiending a little bit. He always goes and golfs during the shows. All right, we've got Joey McGuire's press conference. We're going to go to that now. It was live a little bit earlier today, but let's listen in to what Joey McGuire said here at Big 12 Media Days.
Well, I know nobody believes this, but I am fired up to be here. I am excited to see you guys. Just like every year, every time I get to see you guys, that means we're one step closer to playing football. And, man, we're really excited. Excited about the guys that I brought with me today. It was cool to see the preseason for the second year in a row, the preseason Defensive Player of the Year is a Red Raider, and that's A.J. Holmes, our starting defensive tackle, second-team All-American last year. Brought Bryce Pollock, our starting corner. Brought Sheridan Wilson, our starting center. Ben Roberts, our starting middle linebacker. We're able to bring Terrance Carter, our starting tight end, and Coy Aiken, our starting wide receiver. And, you know, it's really cool to see Ben and Sheridan go through this experience because they were mid-year freshmen my very first meeting whenever I got the job, the very first team meeting. And so it was fun to watch them come to this, and I know they've had a great time. Great to see our cheerleaders and Raider Red over there, our media teams here, my chief of staff, Antonio Huffman. We're excited. I know that a lot of coaches have come up and said that, and we're really excited. We had a phenomenal year last year, and we're looking forward to kicking it off on September 5th. Looking forward to starting Big 12 play on week 3 against a great Houston team. We feel like we're in a really good spot culturally and team-wise. And, man, I just appreciate everybody being here. Appreciate Jerry Jones hosting us. I'm going to use Kalani's line. I'm excited for your questions, but if you don't have any, then I'm okay with that too. So, no, just kidding. With that, open up for questions.
All right, we'll go to center right, third row.
Hey, Coach. Corey Whitman with the Daily Toreador. Obviously, there was a ton of commotion on the program this offseason with the national sports media, and obviously that has the opportunity to take away focus from your players. I'm just wondering, how were the guys, especially veterans like Ben Roberts and Sheridan Wilson, in redirecting the guys to focus on football?
Yeah, I think, you know, one thing that I truly believe in is to bring a team together. Shared success is part of it, but shared adversity brings you even closer. And, you know, the last couple months we've gone through some adversity. I do believe if you walked into our building every single day and you walked into the weight room and the workouts or football school, you wouldn't know that anything was going on. And a big part of that has been Ben and Sheridan. We met multiple times, you know, with them being our two captains, and really I talked through this with those guys and how they felt and what we wanted to do, and they've been incredible. I'm really fortunate. We've got a really strong leadership group. Cam Dickey, Jacoby Williams, Howard Sampson, guys like that, and just really strong people, and they've kept us focused on football. At no point did I feel, you know, over the last few months that anything's taken away from the football as far as in the building.
Far left side, front row.
Sean Dillon, Rockin' Pregame. Coach, who are the underappreciated players that we're not talking about right now on offense and defense that we should be?
I think Trey White and Adam Trick are two guys. It was awesome to see Adam on the All Big 12 preseason team, but, Trey White, besides Colin Simmons and Trey White, they're the only two players, I could get this stat wrong, that have 28-plus tackles for a loss and 19 sacks in the last 2 years. And so I don't know if enough people are talking about Trey White, Adam. I don't know if enough people are talking about B.J. Jordan. He's a guy that's going to benefit from the new rule, possibly having another year, but he's played 4 years at Texas Tech. And so some guys like that, I think you could talk about more because they had really good years last year and they're going to have good years this year.
Center right, fourth row.
Coach Dan Tortora, wakeupcalldtt.com. Just what you can say to the quarterback room, the leadership that's come in there, and what that competition looks like, what the fall looks like going into 2026.
Yeah, really fortunate to have a guy like Will Hammond. If Will doesn't go down against Oklahoma State, we take a veteran quarterback, but, we felt like we had our starting quarterback. I think with the amount of money that's being placed into these rosters, we felt like if there was any setback injury-wise, we couldn't take a chance that he's not going to be ready. We've been fortunate, one, that he hasn't had any setbacks, and two, if you ask Will Hammond throughout this process, he would tell you he was our starting quarterback and wasn't going to back away. He's a unique individual, and I think, the one thing that I could say, if you wanted to see what Will Hammond was, watch him come off the bench against Utah, and not the game that he played. I'm not talking about the play, but the way the players reacted when he came into that game, the belief and that the love they have for him. So we're fortunate to have him. And then Kurt Francis and Lloyd Jones have had really good springs and really good summers. So feel good about that room. We just need to stay on track. Where we're at right now, I could see Will Hammond starting the first game. And, we'll leave that up to the doctors and the medical staff, but he's in a really good spot.
Left center in the back.
Hey, Coach. Lee Rivera with BuffStampede.com. Last year, your team was able to win the Big 12 Conference. What do you think the expectation is coming into the playoff this season?
Win the Big 12 Conference. There's only been 2 teams in the history of this conference, no matter who's been in the conference. There's only been 2 teams that have won back-to-back Big 12 championships. That's OU and Baylor shared, I believe, their conference titles. And so, we want to do something that very few teams have been able to do, and that's to win the Big 12 championship again. But I think it's really important. I think it's really important that this conference gets multiple teams in the playoffs. I think there's an obligation as programs in this conference that we play at a high level, and then I think it's really important that we win in the playoffs, and until we do that as a conference, then we're going to continue to have the same narrative that we have right now.
All right, we are back. That was the conversation with Joey McGuire. We have a couple of more minutes to play. We'll do that in the next segment. What stands out for you there, Choice, as you go through? I thought his line was funny. You won't believe this, but I'm excited to be here. It was pretty good at the top. And then straight up saying, hey, we want to win the Big 12 again. That's why we're here. That's the expectation. That's the floor, really.
It is funny that different coaches have different approaches because of where they are. And I say funny. I mean, 3 years ago, that's the winning the Big 12 is the dream, but it's not the expectation 3 years ago. You're hoping. It has turned into an expectation. And there's really only, around 3 coaches that can say that, maybe 4, that it's our expectation to win the Big 12. The other ones will say it or say something similar. That's our goal. That's why we're here. But it's just not where those teams are right now. And it shows how fast you can rocket up in the sport of college football specifically, but college sports right now, just because of how things have changed.
You're spending like a Big 12 champion.
Yes.
And that's not just NIL money. That's not just in recruiting. That is the whole program. You're putting money into this thing to have success. That's the expectation. There's no reason to sugarfoot around it. And it is interesting. Joey also, you've seen coaches say, I'm not going to mention specific players. Joey will mention everybody on the roster. But he's also not afraid to key out some guys. So
no, he's not.
I always enjoy Joey. More from Joey McGuire on the other side. We're here for the rest of the hour here on 100.7 The Score. We'll be on Double T 97.3 from 3 to 6. AJ Holmes at 3 o'clock. More after this. 100.7 The Score. It's The Bottom Line. Live at Big 12 Media Days, brought to you by Cornet Equipment.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back, 100.7 The Score. It's The Bottom Line. Let's go back and hear some more from Joey McGuire. We'll wrap up his press conference here and then discuss it when we come out of Joey McGuire. So here is Joey McGuire live at Big 12 Media Days from earlier today.
Coach Lane Self with RedRaidersports.com. Last year, you described how close the group was as the closest team that you've ever coached. How is this team progressing and coming along this summer?
Yeah, I feel really good. The good thing is that, we have 12 returning starters, and we have guys like Coy Aiken, who has been in that meeting room, knows nothing else but what we preach every single day. Ben Roberts, a guy like John Curry, Sheridan Wilson, guys that, the foundation of the program. These guys were recruited out of high school and have played for us at a high level. And so I feel good that they're helping bring the team together. And, I do think that what we've gone through the last couple months have brought us even closer.
Left center, third row.
Yeah, Joey, Barry Trammell, Tulsa World. I understand all the reasons that Tech supported Brendan Sorsby the way they did, but did any of it come at a cost to your reputation or those things, or do you have to do any restoration in that regard?
That's a great question, man. It's good to see you too. And it's tough. The thing for me that through all of this, my president and my AD, who are good friends of mine, who believed in me, who hired me, they went through a lot. If you look as a whole, there were not a lot of coaches that said really a whole lot. There was some funny jabs taken by some coaches, but there wasn't a lot of coaches that just really came out and said a lot of different things. And so for my peers, I got a lot of support. Eric Morris, the first day any news broke, called me and said, "Hey, man, I'm just doing a well check." He's a good friend of mine. Kalani is a great friend of mine. Said the same thing. Kenny Dillingham made a joke in a group text and then called me and said, I was kidding. I said, "Kenny, dude, I get it, man." So for me, my peers, I had so much support from my peers. And it was tough to see Kirby and President Skubanek have to go through that. And so, I hate that for them. The thing that we really try to focus on is the Red Raiders and our alumni base and our boosters. And so that's who, whenever I've talked to, answered any emails, text, or anything like that, those are the ones that I concerned to make sure they understand where we were coming from.
Center right in the back.
Coach Robert Gonsolin, News Channel 6, thanks for coming today. Amidst everything going on this offseason, how has Will Hammond been? You give him high praise. How has he been in terms of keeping his head down and staying ready for the right time, the right opportunity?
Yeah, again, we're so fortunate. That young man, he's one of the guys that he's one of the first 2 or 3 people in the building. He's one of the last ones to leave. Extremely hard worker. He's got great confidence in himself. And he's prepared himself to be in the position he's in. and he's got really an infectious personality that people just gravitate to. And so I think that's why there's a lot of confidence in Will. And then the good thing is I think we have one of the top running back rooms in the country, if not the best. We have one of the top tight end rooms in the country. I think we've improved our offensive line. We've got a very deep wide receiver room. So, it's not all on him, that he's going to have a lot of people around him to help him succeed.
Center left in the back.
Hey, I was going to make sure you got a question. You had your hand up the longest.
Thanks, Coach. Donovan Bridgeford, TXA and 24 News. I want to ask about some of the jabs from Steve Sarkisian, head coach of Texas Longhorns, and how serious you were about getting that first game on the schedule, and if we could see that in the future.
Yeah, first, spot the ball, man. Like, we're ready to go right now. We'll play tomorrow. We don't need any film study or anything like that, man. I know they don't either. They got a great football team, one of the best teams in the country. They're going to be really good this year. The thing, I have a lot of respect for Sark, for people that have covered the University of Texas for a long time. What he's been able to do to be successful and sustain success, it's hard to do. Mac Brown was the last coach to be able to do what he's doing, and before that, y'all would have to help me of who was before that other than Darryl Rule that literally had the success that Sark's having. And so I have a lot of respect for him. If you go back and you look on record, I've said continuously, I think he's one of the best play callers, in the game today. And shoot, we were texting the other day. Jeff Traylor put me and Sark in a group text. There's a Division I panel at the THSCA coaching school, and he wants to sit between us. I told Jeff he's going to have to step up in the sports coach game if he's going to sit between me and Sark, because Sark's probably going to have that burnt orange sports coat, and I'm going to wear this one or wear a red one. But I want to play. Man, I'm a Texan. I was born in Texarkana, Texas, in Wadley Regional Medical Center in 1971. I grew up in the Southwest Conference. Texas and Texas Tech are supposed to play. Texas and Texas A&M are supposed to play, and they are playing. SMU is supposed to play. I'd love to play Rhett Lashley. I mean, if you're a Texan and you're a fan of the football in this state, then why would we go outside the state to play non-conference games if we're not in conference anymore? Because you have such good football in this state. And so I would love to play Texas A&M. SMU's not in the conference. I would love to play those guys just because I think it's great for the state of Texas. It's great for the high school coaches and the high school players in the state of Texas. And that might be one reason that we have so many kids leaving the state is because we're not playing each other anymore. I remember whenever I was a high school coach, growing up through the system that, you didn't have as many kids leaving the state. Well, it's probably because the doors are open because we're playing so many other out of conference instead of playing each other.
Coach, thank you for your time today and good luck this season.
All right. Thank y'all. Wreck 'em.
That was Joey McGuire from earlier today. Preach! At the Big 12 Media Days. Spot the ball, baby. Now, we asked him this earlier as well, and he had the same reaction. It has to happen at some point. I don't know if it will on their end in the regular season, but
yeah, I mean, both teams are good enough. It's bound to happen. I know the College Football Playoff Committee will say we're ranking the teams this way or that way, but if there's one ranking off, if there's a way to put those two teams together, it's going to happen. It's too good for television. It's too good for whatever.
Especially if it's in Austin or Lubbock.
Yeah. Yeah, if you've got an 8-9 matchup,
yes.
If you really look at these teams as, I don't know.
Yeah, or even if you could set it up to if they both win,
yeah,
you're putting them on the same side.
Yeah, they're going to do it that way. It makes too much sense not to.
I mean, could you imagine the pair of them at the Cotton Bowl?
Yeah.
In round 2 or round 3, whatever it is?
Well, you kind of had it paired that way where it was going to be A&M and Tech if both teams could have won. Or A&M didn't win, so I think that's what it was, right?
Yeah, then Ohio State eventually
If A&M would have won.
It would have been A&M, yeah.
And Tech.
Yeah.
They would have placed it there because we didn't learn Yeah,
instead it was Ohio State because the Big Ten got to choose or whatever. But it could have happened last year. And again, I really don't like talking about the playoff just straight up so much. It's just where you are. Your expectation.
It is
you're
truly
the odds-on favorite to win the Big 12
by a decent amount.
And if you win the Big 12, you're going to be in the playoff.
That's one question I would like to ask Joey, and I think he would be candid with it. Last year when we were sitting here at this time, when we're talking to him, pat the table. Last year when we were talking to him, when people would ask him, okay, what's a successful season, his answer was to play in Arlington because it's something you'd never done, to play in the Big 12 championship. It wasn't win the Big 12 championship to call it successful. Now, obviously, expectations changed as the season went along, and that's allowed to happen. But I think if you asked him, it's probably you're not successful unless you're winning the Big 12 championship this year.
I mean, he said on the podium, we expect to win the Big 12. That's the expectation this year. You've heard that from the players. You heard it from Joey McGuire. That's the expectation. We have more from Big 12 Media Days coming up, presented by Cornet Equipment.
This has been the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score. Go to 100-7thescore.com for more from the Double T Sports Network.